Good morning, all of you. Today we are going to start with the chapter tissues, plant and animal tissues. Before that, we should know what is tissue. So, a tissue is a group of similar cells performing a specific function. Now, what is the relationship between tissue, organ system, and organism? Several tissues together contributing to some specific function inside the body constitute an organ such as tongue. Then many organs acting together to perform a specific life process constitute an organ system such as digestive system. Organ system together constitute the organism, for example, root system and the shoot system. Now, in this chapter, we will come to know about the two types of tissues, plant tissues and animal tissues. First of all, we will talk about the plant tissues. Plant tissues are basically of two types, meristematic tissues and permanent tissues. Meristematic tissues are those which are continuously dividing. They are continuously dividing cells. Cells can multiply to produce new cells. Permanent tissues, they are the non-dividing cell. So first of all, we will discuss the meristematic tissues. What is the location of meristematic tissues? It is located at all growing points of a plant, such as the tip of the root, stem, and branches. In the diagram, you can see the stem tip is showing here, and here the meristematic tissues are found. Now, what are the characteristics of meristematic tissues? The chief characteristics, number one, cells are small. Cells are usually cubical. Cell wall is thin. Nuclei are large. Cells tightly packed with almost no intercellular space. Now, the meristematic tissues can be divided into two categories. Number one is apical meristem and number two, cambium or lateral meristem. Apical meristem located near the tips of roots and stem and in the growing young leaves near the tips of stem as well as on the tips of axillary buds. Cambium or lateral meristem, it is situated below the bark and it is responsible for the increase in the diameter of the stem. Now we are coming on to the permanent tissues. As I told you earlier, they have lost their ability to multiply or divide. So what are permanent tissues? They are made up of cells which have lost their ability to divide. They take a permanent shape to perform some permanent function. They may be living or they may be non-living. So they are of three types. Number one, protective tissues. Number two, supporting tissue. And number three, conducting tissues. Protective tissue, they are the cells with thick walls. And what is their location? They are found in the epidermis of leaves. Now we are coming on to the, first of all, we are coming on to the protective tissues. Okay, now we are coming on to the supporting tissues. Supporting tissues are of three types, parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. So first we will talk about the parenchyma. Parenchyma, as you are seeing in the diagram, they are thin-walled cells, oval, circular, or polygonal in shape, and they are having a single large vacuole. What is its location? It is found in the soft parts of the plant, such as in the cortex and in the pith region. Their function is, it is stored food, as you can see in potatoes, and is provide temporary support to the plant. Now here one more thing you should note. Some parenchymatous cell contain chloroplast in the leaf, and then it is called chlorenchyma. So in the exam, this question can also be asked, what do you mean by chlorenchyma? Next is sclerenchyma. They are composed of long, narrow cells. Their cells are very narrow, and they are dead cells, which have become dead. These cells develop thick wall due to the deposition of lignin. So here is one important point. It has the deposition of lignin. It is found in the stems and veins of leaves. And its function, it provides strength to the plant. Next type of tissues are the conducting tissues. Conducting tissues are also called the vascular tissues. It provides a passage for water and dissolved materials to move up and down in the plant. Two types of conducting tissues are there, xylem and phloem. So first we will talk about the xylem. Xylem diagram, you can see cells are elongated and thick walled, and they are in the form of tubular passage because their function is the conduction of water. They provide for upward movement of water and dissolved materials absorbed from the soil and the roots to other parts of the plant. Upward movement, why they are saying? Because they are absorbing the water from the soil, and the upward movement of water will be there to supply water to the other parts of the plant. Xylem tissue consists of tracheids and vessels, xylem parenchyma, and xylem fibers. Now, in the xylem, you will find the tracheids. They are made up of elongated dead cells with large cavities without any contents. They have highly lignified cell walls. They provide mechanical support by developing various type of thickenings in their walls. Next are xylem vessels. These are long tube-like structures meant for transporting water and dissolved minerals. Their cell walls are hard, thick, and lignified. Then xylem parenchyma consists of living parenchyma cell associated with the xylem. These cells serve for the storage of food and help in the conduction of water and minerals. Now, two types of vascular tissues I told you. Now we talked about xylem. Now we come on to the phloem. What is the function of phloem? Phloem provides a passage for the downward movement of food manufactured in the leaves, and it consists of sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem parenchyma, and phloem fibers. So first of all, sieve tubes. Sieve tubes, they made up of elongated cells. The transverse walls are perforated and called sieve plates. They help in the transport of food from leaves to other parts of the plant. Companion cells, these are the living parenchyma cells, help in the functioning of sieve tube cell. Phloem parenchyma mainly concerned with the storage of starch, and phloem fiber, they provide mainly support. And xylem and phloem, collectively it is called vascular bundle. This is important point. What is vascular bundle? So xylem and phloem collectively called the vascular bundle. Now we are coming on to the animal tissues. So animal tissues, mainly it is of four types: epithelial tissues, connective tissues, muscle tissue, and neural tissue. So first we will start with the epithelial tissues. Epithelial tissues, as you are seeing in the diagram, it is of so many types: squamous epithelium, cuboidal epithelium, columnar epithelium, and ciliated epithelium. Epithelial tissues, they are the protective continuous sheet of cells. Its location, it is found in the outermost layer of skin and lining surface of mouth, nose, lungs, stomach. What is its function? Protection, absorption, secretion, and sensory perception. These all are the functions of epithelial tissues. So epithelial tissues are of 5 types. That is first of all, we will talk about the squamous epithelium. Squamous epithelium, its location is found in mouth and nasal cavities. Function, it protects the underlying parts from mechanical injury, germs, harmful chemicals, and underlying parts. Second, stratified epithelium, its location found in the skin and cornea. Then third is cuboidal epithelium, found in some parts of the kidney tubules and in some glandular ducts such as salivary glands. After that, another type, that is columnar epithelium. Its location found in the inner lining of the stomach and intestine. Then ciliated columnar epithelium. Its location is lining of trachea. Cells of ciliated epithelium have thread-like protoplasmic projections called cilia, and cilia are continuously lashing. Cilia constantly keep lashing and move the material which enter these regions. That is why it is mainly found in the lining of trachea. Glandular epithelium. These cells are common in the lining of stomach and intestine. Next type of animal tissues is connective tissues. There are 3 types: connective tissue proper, supportive connective tissue, and fluid connective tissue. First of all, connective tissue proper. It is of 3 types: areolar tissues, adipose tissues, and fibrous connective tissue. Areolar tissues. Location occurring beneath the epidermis of the skin. Function, it makes the skin elastic and helps it to withstand pulling strain. Then adipose tissues, specialized cell which store fat. And fibrous connective tissue, elongated cell known as fibers. The fibers bundle together and form tendon and ligament. Supportive connective tissue. Cartilage and bone. Cartilage are non-porous tissue, location at the tip of nose, and bone, hard porous tissue. It has supply of blood vessels and nerves. Fluid connective tissue. Blood. Blood is composed of the liquid part plasma and the cellular part RBCs, WBCs, and platelets. Lymph, it contains WBC but not the RBCs. Muscle tissue are of 3 types: striated muscles, unstriated muscles, and cardiac muscles. Muscles can contract and relax and help in the body movement. 3 kinds of muscles are there: striated muscles, these are voluntary muscles and stripped; unstripped, involuntary and unstripped. Cardiac, they are involuntary and found only in the walls of heart. The specialty of cardiac muscles is that they do not get tired soon. Nervous tissue. Diagram of neuron is very, very important. So you have to practice diagram. So mainly the unit of nervous tissue is the neurons. Nervous tissue, it constitutes the nervous system. Tissue is made up of specialized elongated cells called neurons. Each nerve cell consists of a cell body or cyton, and the remaining portion, axon, which is very long. Nerve tissues concerned with the perception and responses of animals. Now, after this chapter, whatever the exercises are given in your book, that you have to complete.